Welcome to Call Your Mom. As you can see, we're together.
No phone calls needed.
No phone call needed.
I'm here visiting in New York City a couple of days.
Yep.
The only awkward thing is that we've not talked today. You showed up to tape the podcast, and we're in matching outfits.
Yeah.
How does this even happen? You can't make this happen. You can't try this. So for our listeners who might not be watching, we're in cable knit, cream-colored sweaters.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
And black pants. We are head to toe exactly in the same outfit.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to wear this. I was going to wear a hoodie. And I was told to dress up like an adult.
By whom? Who told you that? Not me.
Tiffany told me to actually wear a shirt. So I was going to wear a hoodie. And I was told to wear something real. So they wore this.
Okay. So because we are going to a nice dinner right after this. So we wanted to. So, okay. This is interesting. So does your significant other harangue you into wearing certain things, much like a mother would harangue you into wearing certain things?
No, I think she just, smarter about. She doesn't want me to look like an idiot. When it's not like she's like my boss, but I definitely, her opinion is valid when it comes to not wearing a fuzzy Gremlins hoodie out of the house to a nice dinner.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
It's so funny you should say this because I'm visiting a friend here in New York and they have young children, young toddlers. Mm-hmm. And there may have been some tantrums and just, you see how toddlers navigate the world. Mm-hmm. And, you're talking about she's not the boss of me. How do you remember tantrums as a child? Do you have any strong memories or scar tissue of how your mother navigated tantrums when you were younger?
No, I don't remember really.
You have no memory of throwing a tantrum as a kid?
I don't remember them, no. I'm sure I threw them.
Oh, no, you threw them. I'm just wondering.
I probably throw them now. I don't remember them now. Yeah.
I do think you throw them now.
Yeah. Oh.
100%. So when you were, I would say you were old enough to know better, but still in the toddler tantrum phase. Mm-hmm. You're about probably 4 years old, I'll say. You were obsessed with the Disney store, and we would go to the Disney store and get you action figures. And, as previously stated, you've had every action figure known to mankind, womankind, childkind. So we're going into the Disney store one day, or we walk by a Disney store in a mall, and I've just read an article about how when kids are having tantrums, you're supposed to just let them and just step away and let your child have the tantrum, and you just calmly sit there and wait for them to finish. And the less you react to the tantrum and the less the parents are like, you stop that, you don't get engaged or get elevated. So we're in the middle of the mall, and I let you have a tantrum on the floor. And I'm sitting on a bench, and you're in the mall in a full meltdown. Mm-hmm. No memory of this?
No, none. I've heard this story before, but I don't remember this.
You don't remember the moment. So that's probably good then that you're not psychologically scarred from it. But I remember I've just read this article. I'm trying this new parenting technique, and everyone in the mall keeps stopping to ask you if you're okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there no, he's okay. I'm right here. This is a thing. Please let my child have a tantrum without intervening. So I guess the question is, how do you think we're supposed to let children have tantrums? And how do you think parents are supposed to navigate this?
Navigate tantrums? What brings this up to mind again?
My friend that I'm staying with, their toddler had a tantrum.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't know if I remember how to deal with this or.
I don't think about tantrums a lot. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't know if I could give tantrum talk because
it's not a TED talk. It's a tantrum talk.
I don't know what you do for a tantrum in an adult.
Well, surely you've had friends and coworkers or bosses or
you yourself
what do you do when you want what you want when you want it?
I mean, you just got to ask for help. Anybody who's throwing a tantrum when you're an adult, you need help. Go talk to somebody because that's weird. You can't throw tantrums as an adult. I don't think. I don't think you should be doing that, right?
I think there are more evolved ways. I do think I sometimes will throw a tantrum, like when people do something where I don't understand their logic. Like they don't have common sense, or they're doing something that I don't understand. I think I can get a little frustrated or tantrumish.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't understand where you're coming from on this. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I do. Well, okay, when you put it like that, I do that as well. I get tantrumy about random stuff. I'll like blow up. I definitely have blown up at like work and stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
It happens. Frustrations mount.
Yeah.
Frustrations mount.
Yeah.
Well,
but
yeah, it was just interesting because it was just taking me back, toddlers having a little meltdown, and I was just like, oh wow, I don't even know what the new style of parenting is for toddler meltdown, like gentle parent. I don't even know what the rules are anymore. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like the leaving them to have. I feel like there's some weird thing where you have to be like, okay, why are you mad?
Use your words. Use your words.
That weird parent voice that you'll sometimes hear like on the street where they're talking to their child like a therapist, and they're like, why are you so angry? It's like it's a 3-year-old. Just tell it to come on. I don't like that. I feel like you should just tell your kid, like, it's your kid. Be thoughtful and hear them out, but like when you're in public, it's like just handle it. The whole store doesn't need to be involved in your problem.
Right. No, I have been around those parents where you hear them and they're like, use your words. How are you feeling? Does that make you feel sad? And I feel like sometimes parents are parenting in public so that we hear what great parents they are.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And that makes you a bad parent. If you need validation for your parenting. The kid is your validation. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I guess. I don't know. The more I see the parenting styles, the more I'm like, I don't know if I did it right. So, all right, what else have you got on your mind? I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent on tantrums, but
a tangent.
I haven't been around toddlers that often lately, so it was interesting to like, oh wow, I wonder what the new tantrum techniques are for toddlers.
I don't really know anything about toddlers anymore. I'm toddler unaware.
Yeah, toddler unaware. Feel free to write in, tweet us, text us. Don't text us. You don't have our numbers, but
maybe we should get a number. Should we get like a phone number? 1-800.
That used to happen. Talk shows back in the day. I remember I used to call in and request songs. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I don't think did anyone call in and dedicate songs anymore?
I think no. Where would you listen? There's too many places to listen.
Yeah, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM.
You could call in to like your favorite. I feel like some podcasts you can call in. Maybe we should have a call in,
like a live
section where you can call in and ask for parental advice,
or
just advice.
Or probably in our case, like what not to do. Like, hey, how did you two do it? And then what should we avoid?
So negative. So negative. You did fine.
You're alive.
I haven't died. I think you did great.
Okay, so speaking of things I've done wrong, we've had a little
just opposite of that.
We've had a little tiff this week. Should we tell the listeners?
Sure.
Are we ready to talk about it?
Go ahead.
So for the holidays, I wanted to do something nice. It's going to be his 30th birthday, and our birthdays share a week. So I was thinking of something cool and dramatic that I could do. So I've organized this entire trip to Champagne, France with friends, and I gave him a ticket. And then I definitely think I'm in the wrong, and now that I hear this out loud, I know I'm wrong. But you don't want to go.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this. The way that you're phrasing it and everything. So negative. See, this is what makes it hard to have that conversation about not wanting to go, is because now you've framed it in this whole horrible way.
Well, I don't
beating
know.
yourself up about it.
Well, okay. So one, I have several thoughts about it. So one, I've given you a first class ticket round trip to France to go to the Champagne region, which sounds amazing. And like, what person in their right mind is going to say no to a trip to Champagne? But when we phrase it from like, it's your 30th birthday, you should choose where you want to go and what you want to do.
I didn't know that it was first class. I didn't.
Delta One.
I didn't know. You handed me a piece of paper that said Champagne on it. It's fair.
So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, are parents allowed to still plan birthday surprises for their children past a certain age, or do you just do your own thing and?
Well, think about, okay.
And I don't worry about it?
I can hear it in the way that you're talking about it, that we still need to talk about this. Because
I might still be triggered and sad.
Well, because okay, how do we say this? It's a trip for yourself with your friends. You know what I mean? Like that's...
Right, I've been trying to get to the bottom of what was I thinking when I booked this trip, and it was more like, for our birthday, because our birthdays are 7 days apart.
True. For
our birthday, let's go do this fun thing. And it does happen to be with my friends, but they're your friends too.
But they're your friends.
They're my friends, but they love you like
exclusively your work colleagues that like I'm friendly with as I've grown into my adulthood. I do love them, but you know what I mean? Like if you think about if we actually think about it, for what would be a joint birthday trip is a trip that you've always wanted to do with your friends.
Right. So
and it's not like I don't want to sound like an asshole.
No, it's like, I want to bring you and give you this experience. And now as we say it out loud, I realize I'm wrong.
Okay, well, you don't have to say you're wrong. You're being wrong. So negative about it.
I hate being wrong.
You could have also just been like, oh, I can see that maybe that's not something for you. Let's find something different. I'll go on that trip because I want to go on that trip because it's so clearly a trip for you. And just be like, oh, I get that. Okay, let's go on a trip. Like, let's you and me plan a trip, you know? And maybe invite some of your friends or invite your girlfriend, you know? Like,
right.
Like, as opposed to, like, I did something terrible. I did something so wrong. That's a first-class ticket to Champagne and, like, half rub it in my face as you accept that you're wrong. You know? Yeah. Look at it.
I guess what I'm curious about is, do other people... You know, maybe we're a unique situation because you're an only child of a single mother and, like...
Yeah.
Do other people still plan their children's birthdays or try to help with their birthdays? What's normal? I don't know what's normal.
I don't know if it's necessarily what you'd say normal to plan a friend trip for your birthday and then give it to your child as a gift.
Right. So that's where I went wrong. So really what I should have said is, honey, I've planned a trip for my birthday with my friends. Yeah. Would you like to join us?
Like, it would be a great birthday present if you came with me on my birthday trip.
Okay, so can I start over and rephrase it like that?
Instead of being like, for your birthday, I got you a trip with my friends to somewhere I want to go. And it's my I know it's your 30th birthday, but we're going on my trip.
I hear how crazy it is. When you say it out loud, I now understand how crazy I am.
Like, I don't want to say no to that, but it's also just like, I would also love to do something with my friends.
For your own birthday, plan your own birthday.
I have other friends that are turning 30. My girlfriend's birthday is right around that time, too.
Okay.
But it's just like, let's have a conversation about it. And as opposed to like, I think there's just there's a healthy way. And it's not like you did, again, the whole like, so wrong and stuff.
I could have been smarter about it. So I guess I brought this up just because I am constantly learning every single day. I'm trying to be a good parent. Even as you get older, I think parenting stages and it all changes, but you're never like 100% right or 100% wrong. So I'm learning as we go. Okay, I had something else I wanted to talk about. Have we resolved anything or?
I think that was just all. Do you feel fine?
Well, if I really wanted to start over, I would say, hey, would you like to come on my birthday trip with me?
There you go. That's better.
So I am now asking you, would you like to come on my birthday trip with me, honey?
I'm a maybe. I got to figure out what I want to do for my birthday.
Okay, get back to it.
I'm turning 30 this year, so it's like...
It's a big one. I know, you want to do something big.
I mean, there's also the chance that I want to, like, sit in a room alone in a room.
And be depressed and anxious on your birthday.
And be like, what do I do?
Okay, 30, it's interesting you say that. 30 was a big birthday for me, too, because I was actually 29 years old when I had you. So, I had you, and then 7 days later, I turned 30. And so 30 was a really big turning point in my life because, motherhood, responsibility, still trying to build your career. 30 is a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. We'll talk about this more as we get closer to it. I don't know. I definitely feel like, time to make some changes. I've just been, you just kind of like take stock of what you've been doing in your 20s. And I've been a rapscallion, as you've told me.
Wow, good use of rapscallion. What does that mean to you? What have you been a rapscallion? What do you mean?
It's just, you fling a lot of at the wall and some of it doesn't stick, and I've personal trained. I've been a green energy salesman. I've been a bartender. I've been a bar manager. What else have I done? I've been a volunteer.
In movies. You've been
I was
in
in a movie. I've done stand-up comedy. I've been in sketch shows. So it's just like I've done a lot of stuff. So now it's kind of just like start chipping away and kind of focus a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a casting director, if you have one in your family, call them and tell them to help. Send them to me. Okay.
Mm.
But so it's definitely like just taking stock and being ready to make some change. And that's one of the reasons we had that conversation. Is it's like, as I'm thinking about it, it's like, you also got to ask, like, what do I want to do?
Mm-hmm. What's next for me? What do I care about? What's important in my life?
Because if I love you, but we have a unique relationship, and I can't just roll. Like, anytime you're like, we're going to go do this, I'm almost 30, I can't just be like, okay.
Right. Right, of course.
Right, yeah,
of course.
You got to start being like, well, what do I want to, as much as I love the idea of I do want to go do that trip eventually, but, there's just a way, you just got to figure out how you want to do things, how you kind of like start building your own.
What your priorities are.
Your own life.
I got you.
If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. So, one thing I wanted to talk to you about this week is we do have a guest coming up. So I know I promised last week we've got a big guest. We're just trying to schedule it. Should I say who the guest will be?
No,
Should
let's make it
a big surprise.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's a surprise.
When I say
because I don't know who this guest is.
Big. Yes, you do. I texted you.
I forgot. What? I'm supposed to be the fun son. I also produced the show. What?
Okay.
I just forgot the name.
Right. We have a big guest coming up.
I do remember the name. It's just in my phone.
Right. Okay. Well, we're hoping to have that for next week, so please give us a listen next week. We've probably bored you to tears today, but anyway.
Well, we haven't bored him. What are you talking about? We've only been talking for 18 minutes.
Okay. So maybe you're not crying yet. I do.
So very negative today.
I am very negative today.
You're very negative today. What's going on?
I think you hurt my feelings yesterday.
I hurt your feelings?
By not wanting to go on this trip with me.
It's not that I don't want to go on the trip. It's just...
I get it.
I need
You're right.
to... It's just like a healthy... No, it's almost like a boundary. Just being
right. Right.
That is an important...
I think that parents really like to set healthy boundaries, and we're always saying that to our children. I'm not sure
you want healthy boundaries that benefit you.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say, I don't know that parents like it when our children set boundaries for us, which is normal. And of course you should set boundaries. And you should be like, Mom, I want you in my life, but here are your boundaries. That is normal. That is how adults and children should interact in the world.
Yeah.
I want you when I want you. And I don't want the boundaries.
I know. But we take it to even going and well, what's a good one? Like the whole Wicked thing, where that was, I have no relationship to Wicked. And you had this magical experience with Wicked. I don't have a relationship to champagne.
No, it's just something, it's like a cool thing in the world that I'd like to show you.
I love that. I love that.
I've been there, and it's something I wanted to share with you because I'm like, this is a really cool experience. I'd love to share it with you.
And now I look like a dick because I'm like, I don't want to go to Champagne, France.
If there's any children out there who would like to travel with me, you're welcome. Like, just come.
Well, and I'm sure there's people that want to travel with you.
Come, be my guest.
Yeah, and we'll do that. But I'm just saying, maybe I want to go to... I've been very fascinated by Japan. Is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I've really been interested in going to Australia or New Zealand, Ireland, Greenland. Those all interest me. I want to go to Alaska at some point in my life. Except for I have a friend who works in Alaska, and he said it's terrible. But he lives there and works there, so I don't know.
But let's not offend our Alaskan listeners.
Okay, Alaskan listeners, how terrible is it that you don't have sunlight all the time? Like, that's terrible.
I went to Alaska on a cruise a few years ago with my sister, and it was gorgeous. Like, now, of course, we're cruising. We're not living there. But, yeah, I think I would struggle without daylight and without sunlight. I think that would be hard.
That just sounds terrible. I mean, it's probably beautiful, but it sounds...
Okay. One other thing I wanted to talk to you about today was I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry that I've done it. Our listeners are going to just roll their eyes when I say this. I've gone down the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni rabbit hole. And when I tell you I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning one night scrolling Instagram, I don't know these people. I don't know anything about the movie industry. I don't know anything about this. And now I am fully invested and very, very tuned in from a peripheral standpoint, shallow standpoint, about that matter. Have you been following this case at all?
I like roughly. It sounds all bad.
It sounds all bad.
It doesn't sound good. I didn't watch that movie.
I didn't watch the movie either. I read the book by Colleen Hoover. I love the book. I love everything Colleen Hoover's written, if you guys are big readers.
I'm not familiar with Colleen Hoover.
She's wonderful. I literally have read every book she's written, and I love her. But basically, in a nutshell, if you're not up on the scandal, two people starred in a movie together. One was the director, one was the kind of co-producer. And Blake Lively essentially got slammed when the movie came out. Had some awkward red carpet appearances. People took things a certain way.
Well, the movie's about DV, right?
The movie is about domestic violence, and so there was some pushback on...
I didn't know that when I watched it.
They were marketing it as a romantic comedy. You know, the way the movie was unfolded, just some negative press.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out now that Justin Baldoni, allegedly, his PR firm put out some of that negative press against Blake Lively. And so she has now sued him and his studio and the PR people for defamation. And it's getting really messy and it's really ugly. And the attorneys for Baldoni have released a video of this intimate scene. They've released a lot of stuff.
They have a website.
Yeah, they've released a lot of stuff.
Texts and stuff. And
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Go down that rabbit hole if you want. I'm just going to tell you, you'll lose some days of your life, and then you'll get really invested in it like we are without knowing anything really. But I guess what I wanted to talk to you about was there was this one scene that they have released where the characters in the movie are supposed to be falling in love, and in this scene, Blake Lively in her lawsuit has said she was very uncomfortable and he crossed a line. He's saying, well, I'm going to release the scene and you can see I haven't crossed a line. So what I wanted to talk to you about today, because I think this is an important conversation for parents and kids, and especially parents of young men. I watched the scene, and I myself have been in this situation 100 times where men were making me uncomfortable, and I just am playing it off and like, you know, and you see her put her hands up and she's moving back, but she's trying not to be a jerk. And I just see how uncomfortable she was. And I'm like, why isn't anyone talking about women have had these experiences over and over and over again where men are making us uncomfortable, and we are too nice to just be like, get the heck away from me, get off of me. And we have to backpedal it and sell it and be so cheerful and cute, like, I'm just not really comfortable. So how do you pick up on cues of when you're crossing a line?
I think you know. I think the issue with these guys is that they're not paying attention. And I think there's a big fear aspect to it for like women, like because these guys are dangerous and like scary. So
right, and I feel like if I'm a real jerk to you, or if I just really say what I'm feeling and thinking, it will have repercussions for me socially, in the moment, at work. Like, you know, so many work situations in my youth where it's like,
hopefully that's changing.
I have to pretend like this guy flirtatiously doing stuff is okay because I don't want him to not give me jobs, or, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it was a really interesting, layered, you know, we're saying it in 2 minutes here, but it's a very layered conversation about when you are uncomfortable in the workplace, how can you handle it? And how should young men like yourself...
Definitely just tell them immediately. I think it's different now. And like,
how do you want to hear that where you're not going to get like all up in arms?
I mean, it depends on how bad it is, but I think if men should just know that, like, if somebody's like, you're making me uncomfortable, you should just be like, oh, okay, and stop what you're doing and not be offended.
And not like bow up and be like, well, how dare you? You know,
yeah, it's not her fault that you're making her uncomfortable.
She's uncomfortable. You just need to listen to that feedback.
And like, if you don't believe her or think that she's the worst, then just avoid her and go and stop interacting with her. Because obviously, something you guys do not have chemistry. So there's some sort of chemical issue going on here. If you don't understand that she doesn't feel comfortable around you, you should just. I mean, it's usually just like losers who don't understand that they're weird. You know, and like sometimes you're just a weird, uncomfortable person. You're making somebody uncomfortable. It's not their fault that you're doing something to them. So.
Right.
Shut up, guy, and just like take the note.
Take the note. So I think that would, and listen, we're generalizing this. This is not all men. This is not all women. This is not all situations. I just watched that video that he had put out as proof that he was not making her uncomfortable. And I could see how terribly uncomfortable she was because I could read her body language. I could read her, you know, like her fake laughter and trying to play things off. And I could just tell how uncomfortable she was. So I wanted, as a mom of a child, a young man, to make sure that you are listening to cues from women and make sure you're listening to cues from people of feedback of.
Yeah. No, I definitely, especially, I mean, when it comes to like acting stuff, like that's super important. That's why you need like intimacy coordinators. You just got to be really, I've done stuff like that before in film stuff.
You've had some sex scenes, right? Or makeout scenes?
I've never had sex scenes. I've had like one makeout scene. I've done a stage kiss before, but usually it's just like you got to talk with the person a lot and make sure you're super comfortable and you guys know. And like also, it like has to be so clear that you're just working and it's work and it's a job, and it's actually not intimate. Especially when you're doing any sort of film stuff, it should not be intimate.
It's a staged choreography that should feel like a professional experience. Yeah. And then when they call cut, you turn it off and you step away and you back up
it should be technical enough that like their significant other could be there and see it and not feel, depending on the person, but not feel uncomfortable.
Right, because they are acting, but
it is not real. I mean, I know we want acting stuff to be more realistic and it's supposed to invoke a feeling, but like on set for the people, it should not feel that way.
And feel uncomfortable.
And there's other ways to make it feel more intimate anyways.
So anyway, that's just a rabbit hole your mother went down. I'm super busy. I've got all this stuff going on. I'm prepping all these games. And for some reason, I decided to spend 27,000 hours researching this incident that has nothing to do with me or my life. But I thought I'd bring it up.
It's like meditation.
It's very interesting.
It's been an interesting. I mean, I spent. We've been rewatching all of the Avenger movies, and I spent way too much time on that. We've watched like 15, 20 movies in the first to Endgame, from Iron Man to Endgame. It's like 10 years.
There's 20 Avengers.
There's 35.
35 of these films?
Yes, there's 35 movies.
And is this the one that Captain America is right now coming out of?
There's the new Captain America going, which is Anthony Mackie, which I'm super pumped.
Right.
I'm going to see him on the Kelly Clarkson show tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Will you tell Kelly Clarkson that I love her very much?
I mean, I'm going to be I can scream it. I can yell it.
My mom loves you.
I don't know if that's something I don't know if that's something that you want to necessarily hear from an audience member. My mom loves you. I'm not a fan.
You know, it's so funny you say that because I have people come up to me all the time. Fans come up to me all the time and they'll be like, my wife loves you, or my husband is obsessed with you. And I'm always like, is that true? And you just don't want to admit that you really like me, and so someone else has to be the one. It's
just
an odd.
You are a fan.
Hey, I'm a big fan of your work. Thank you for everything you do.
I think dudes do that. They want to seem cool.
Right.
They don't want to seem like they're fans of stuff. So they're like,
based on my interactions, there's a lot of moms out there that really love me, and a lot of dads. But I'll take it. All right, let's get to Chaos Theory.
Let's do Chaos Theory and then get on out of here.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Well,
all right. Oh, now I can't wait to see what yours are because
Here we go.
Okay. This is good. Super Bowl, yes or no? So,
Super Bowl, yes or no.
Billions of people around the country, around the world, watch the Super Bowl. Billions.
I don't like repeat Super Bowls.
Well, that's why I was asking are you going to watch the Super Bowl, yes or no? Are you into it?
I'll watch the halftime show for sure.
Kendrick Lamar, he should be amazing. Just won 8 Grammy Awards.
It's also, I think, 5. He won 8?
I thought it was 8. I could be wrong.
Well, maybe our next guest there will just be the Grammys because I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if, especially in the city, unless you have a friend or you're throwing a Super Bowl party. The Super Bowl can be really annoying in the city because some places will charge like covers and stuff, or like sports bars will just be packed. So like you'll be like, City. Oh, I'll just go get a drink and like watch the Super Bowl with some friends, and you have to like get reservations like weeks in advance. Like it's just so overblown that like even people who don't care about it will get a table somewhere and take up and like have like 30 people come, and so it can be super annoying because like it's just half the people don't even care about the game, and then again like it's the Chiefs and the Eagles again.
So my best Super Bowl. So is that a yes or no? Or are you going to watch the Super Bowl?
I might watch it.
Okay, I definitely will watch it.
I'm not.
I love football.
I like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is dope.
You've met him. Cool. You've worked with me at games where Jalen played, and you've met him before.
Like they're all like I like a lot of the people. Travis Kelce's dope. I don't care.
You don't really care. Okay, so I like it. I'm definitely going to watch it. So I would say overall, I'm probably more of a Chiefs fan because I love Patrick Mahomes. I really love Andy Reid. He's their head coach. I think he's the most creative play caller in football I've ever seen. He has a BYU connection. I don't know if you know that, but he went to BYU and was a coach there. Started his career there.
Andy Reid, is he Mormon?
I think he is Mormon. I don't know if he's still a practicing Mormon, but I believe he was a Mormon. I'm going to have to Google that. But anyway, having said that, I really like Jalen Hurts. He's been counted out. He's been overlooked. You know, he essentially got benched at Alabama. And I don't think anyone in the history of college football handled. Jalen Hurts is a starter for years at Alabama. I think he's like, at this point, maybe 17-1 as a starter, something insane when he gets benched for Tua Tagovailoa. Instead of being a jerk, instead of entering the transfer portal in the middle of the season, he goes to work, he keeps working, he keeps getting better. And that season, Tua gets hurt going into the SEC championship game. And so guess whose number gets called? Jalen Hurts. And he's ready. And he wins an SEC championship game for Alabama. You don't hear him disparage anybody. You don't hear him talk poorly about anybody. And then he just quietly goes into the transfer portal in the offseason, goes to Oklahoma, has a terrific final season for Oklahoma, ends up being a Heisman Trophy finalist. I just have a ton of respect for Jalen Hurts and how he has handled his career all along the way. And I'm going to send this video to Robbie. I have a wonderful video. It's from the very first game Jalen ever played at Oklahoma. And they kill, I think it was Houston. And he's walking off the field and he's like, well, I got to go talk to my boys because we've got a lot of work to do to get better. And he's never satisfied with the win. He was satisfied with getting better every single week. So I don't know. I love Jalen Hurts, and I just appreciate how that young man has handled his business during the ups and the downs.
Cool. Yeah. Who cares? I'm kidding. It's just. I would like to see them versus the Ravens or so. Just one other
Fresh
team
blood, new blood.
Good. I don't know. It's cool. That's a great story, and Jalen Hurts is inspirational, I guess. But I guess
I really love Saquon. I love Saquon. I got
great.
to cover a lot of his games at Penn State. I've done a few things with him before, and he's a sweetheart.
Boring football.
Runs so hard. You think so?
It's the same team again with like.
Oh,
most
okay.
of
I was
the
going to
same
say I don't
players.
think it's a boring style of football.
Nobody's doing anything. It's just same.
All right. Well, I will be watching the Super Bowl.
I'm going to watch it probably.
I'm going to say this.
And I care about who wins.
Keys to a good Super Bowl party. Don't be that person who is talking at the Super Bowl party and being a distraction when.
You don't want people to talk at the Super Bowl?
How do I say this correctly? So I remember hosting a big Super Bowl party one year, and Brent Musburger was there. And Brent Musburger, who is a legend, and people, no, he's not yapping. He's trying to watch the game, and people in the back are yapping, and we all keep looking back like, shut up. We're trying to watch the game and listen to the announcers. So I guess what I would say is pair yourselves well at Super Bowl parties. If you're going to go to a Super Bowl party, if it's going to be fans who want to just be casual and everybody's drinking and you guys are making jokes and laughing about the halftime performance or the commercials, be those people and go to that party. If you're going with hardcore sports fans who want to hear the announcers, want to know the stats, want to hear the X's and O's, then be respectful of those people. So know your fandom is, I guess, what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm with that. I like that.
Okay, what's our next topic?
I was going to say, I don't like that they've been releasing all the Super Bowl
Commercials
early. That was half the fun of watching the game was the commercials.
Waiting for the
And now I've seen there's a Meg Ryan and what's his name? Billy Crystal commercial already out.
Oh, I've heard. Is there going to be a When Harry Met Sally?
It's already on Twitter or X or whatever the shit. Okay. Have you seen Severance?
No.
Okay. I am obsessed with this show. You need to watch this show. Severance. It's the best show on TV.
Why?
So now we have homework for Severance because Severance is amazing. Severance is basically the show where these people, you get your mind, you get this thing in your mind, and whenever you go to work, it turns you off, and you have another personality with none of your memories go and do all the work, and then you turn back on as you come out of the elevator after work.
What makes the show good?
It's great. It's the mystery of it's really great. The characters are really great. It's fascinating to think about, if you just turned off a piece of your, if you turned off your memories, who would you be? Because there's the innies and the outies. So who would you be if you were outside?
Innies and outies?
And because you're inside, the person working isn't you because you don't have any of your memories. You don't know anything about your life. It's just your body and you're kind of your personality or maybe a new personality. Who knows? Who knows what gets through? So,
I would imagine there's some people listening that are that's how I am anyway, because there's a lot of jobs out there that are kind of mindless jobs where you're I just go to work, I get my tasks done, I get my stuff done, and I leave, and I don't bring a lot of my personality or who I am.
Yeah.
My job's not like that. I have to be me at my work.
Yeah, you have to bring personality. I think that's why it's resonated. It's a huge big deal.
Okay.
I feel and Ben Stiller directed it.
Oh, we like Ben Stiller.
He did the great Tropic Thunder.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's do one more and then call it a day.
All right.
All right. Dad shirt.
Oh, good.
Yes or no? What is
Okay.
dad shirt?
So, I saw this thing online that Okay. This is a shirt where the dad, and we're not saying yes or no to this company or supporting this country, but I thought it was interesting. Yeah. So there's a pouch in the front of the shirt that the dad can slide the baby in the pouch and carry the baby around in his shirt, kind of mimicking a woman being pregnant.
It's just what do they call those? Balaclava?
It's a little bit not balaclava. Balaclava?
Baklava is a food.
Baklava is a food. Balaclava is a face covering that you might wear to rob a bank or go skiing. So neither of those words are correct. Baby born. Yeah, I would say it's more like that. You strap it on. Would you wear the dad shirt and tuck your baby in a little pouch?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I would get a dad shirt now just so I could carry around stuff. When I'm doing stuff around the house, just have an extra pocket. That I can put.
Snacks? I could see snacks going in there.
You fill it with chips or you put a drink in there with a straw.